Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. We have some great things going on in our garden. As you can see, our tomato plants are heading up to a foot plus high. Some of them is even 2. They're getting flowers on them. I'm going to have to desucker them here shortly. I also started laying down the black plastic. I have the roll going down here. I managed to get the irrigation line in. Our cabbages are doing very well. Our broccoli is doing amazing. As you can see, I'm leaving some of the weeds. I have not pulled them all today. I was in the strawberry patch pulling them and picking strawberries. Some of our weeds, which is called lamb's quarters, is being eaten up by the bugs. But the bugs are now leaving our cabbage and our tomatoes and our peppers alone. So as of what I found out last year, if I leave some of the weeds, the bugs will attack them before they will attack my garden plants. Lamb's quarter is edible, and I have actually used it in salads. It's pretty good tasting. You have to get it when it's young or the leaves will be bitter. Our peppers, kind of for the bad news, but the good news also. Some of them are struggling. I had to replant some of the ones that did not take off, that died. Our okra, first year planting it, is the Star of David. I'm going to be a name dropper here. I heard about it from Deep South Homestead with Danny and Wanda. I'm going to try it this year. I love okra. I guess we'll see. The irrigation system and the black plastic that I'm using, landscaping fabric, it's probably mainly used for greenhouses, but I know a lot of people are using them in their garden area. I learned about this by watching Living in Traditions Homestead. They are amazing. I love them. My garden will never be as pretty as theirs, but we're working on it. My cucumbers are growing nicely. I will be planting another area of them to finish off the row, and probably in the next week. We definitely have more good news than we have bad news this time. These are our Brussels sprouts. I only planted 4 or 5 of them, but we have a volunteer. This is a winter squash. I do not know which winter squash. It could be spaghetti, buttercup, or butternut. Or it could even be a pumpkin if it decides to come up. I'm going to let it grow and see what we can do. We did our last hill on the potatoes. Letting them grow, produce underground. And our sweet potatoes have all been planted. I did not start my own sweet potatoes this year. I will hopefully be able to do it next year. Not sure what happened. The ones that I tried never propagated, never came up. We have our corn, Country Gentleman. It's an heirloom. It's doing very nicely. Now for the bad news. Our green beans. Last year we had a bumper crop. We canned so many. I gave so many of them away. We ate them raw. We ate them fresh right out of the garden. But this year, our beans are being eaten up by the bugs. Also, the beans did not come up very good. I planted them in between 3 and 6 inches apart, and it is very, very sparse. If I do not see some more growth in the next 3 or 4 days after the weekend, I'm going to go ahead and remove the irrigation and restart some bean plants. I'll just have one harvest instead of doing it by 2. This area is still waiting to be tilled and for us to plant corn in it in about a week. Our zucchini and crookneck squashes are coming up great. They're doing wonderful. And our pepper plants, as I have stated, are struggling this year. A lot of them did not propagate. My bell peppers, California Wonders, did not do anything for the last 2 years. So I had some extra plants and I went ahead and replanted the area. Our watermelon and cantaloupe are taking their time this year. Last year, it was amazing. They did wonderful, wonderful things. We had so many watermelons we couldn't keep up with them. They have seeded throughout the garden. I have been removing them. Some of them I'm keeping. Our winter squash, both of them's doing wonderful. We have spaghetti, buttercup, and butternut squash here, and acorn. Something that I did not plant last year, was peas. They are coming up. We will have sugar snap peas growing in both of these. They're coming up nicely. Last year what I had planted in this row was pumpkins. They had gotten a vine borer in them, so I didn't want to replant in case the vine borer was living underground and surviving through winter. We've gotten a lot of volunteers coming up here and there and everywhere. What I think is one of the best things that are coming up, it kind of made me smile and chuckle. We have watermelon plants. These were from last year. I am going to leave them come up and see what they do. I'll just stick them in the area here that's going to have some landscape fabric down, and we will go ahead and let them just go down the aisle. Should be amazing. We're going to take a walk and head down to one of our experimental plots that we are trying this year. We didn't put up a fence or anything. We want to see if it's possible to grow anything down here without the deer eating it. Putting up fencing is long time consuming, and we don't always have the amount of time we need. So while we're walking, tell me, what is it that you are doing to make yourself more self-sufficient? Have you started container gardening? Have you started an orchard? Raised beds? Are you connecting with a farmer that you might know that can help you can some food? Are you learning anything? Are you learning skills? Did you buy anything? Have you started looking for land? Have you already gotten your land? Our experimental plot here are sunflowers. They have started to come up. The squirrels have been eating the seeds, but that's all right. My cats are eating the squirrels. This year we did not do anything at all to this area. We literally had it tilled up. It was cultivated, and then they put down the seeds. And I did throw some lime out on it. Let's take a walk to our next experimental plot. We are here at experimental plot number 2. This one also has sunflowers. When we bought this property back in 2017, everything was in disrepair. The fields had just been grown over with weeds. This was a riding rink. It had fence all the way around it. It also had a hard layer of very fine dust rock. As hard as a rock. And we ended up just throwing all of our scraps out here, our garden scraps, our compost. We put down wood chips. We threw sunflower seeds in here, and we threw wildflower seeds. We threw everything we could think of in here just to see if we could get it going. This year we had a farmer come in and put the manure down and till it, plow it under, mix it all together, and then I had him plant sunflower seeds. Guess what? They're up and going too. I came out after it was planted and went ahead and put some lime on it. What's nice about sunflowers, these are mammoths. They're supposed to be huge. They are good for human consumption, and our chickens can also eat them. The stalks, you can cut them up. They're very large, and you can use them for firewood. If you have a small cook stove, it would be great. Also, you can split the stalks open and take the fiber from them and supposedly spin it into clothing or threads to make clothing. The roots you can grind up for flour. I am so happy that you all hung with me on this trip through our garden tour and our experimental plots. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave me a comment. I would like to answer some questions. Maybe we can start a discussion about anything. And anything you want to, something, you name it. So please subscribe, like, and share. I will be talking to you soon.